I'm going to recycle a term for you today. It's one I've used in the past, but I have to say it again because it's been such a common theme lately that I got to get it out there. And I actually used it last week in that speech I told you guys I was going to give, the presentations to a bunch of the kids at a high school. A couple high schools actually came through, but it went over really well. And it's so true because it's pretty much true for every human, I think, in some form or fashion. And I know as teenagers, or soon to be teenagers or young adults, it's very, very true because you're still trying to find out who you are, what you're made of, who you want to be, what other people see you as, like where do I want my life to go? And a lot of you are busy trying to break out of old lives, right? Breaking the cycle. Man, I've not been on my game here lately for our new kids, but you're going to hear me talk about breaking the cycle a lot. Look at the kids who've been here for a while and watch them shake their head like, yeah, this dude talks about breaking the cycle all the time. Breaking the cycle means getting out of old patterns of behavior or not accepting what you thought was going to be the rest of your life because your parents were and their grandparents were. And so if you had grandparents who were alcoholics or drug addicts and you had parents who were alcoholics or drug addicts, some of us are led to believe that next generation, right? We're supposed to be that too. Breaking the cycle is saying, nope, not with me. I'm done. I'm going to change my life. So, but that starts with what you think about yourself. And that starts about that inner dialogue, that inner voice that we all have in our head. And every single human on the planet has it. Some pay attention to it, some don't. Some give it more credibility, and some say, that's just, that voice that always tries to tell me I'm not this or I'm not that, I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not whatever. It's just I think a natural thing more often than not for us to be our own worst critic. I actually dealt with my youngest son going through this last night. He was very down on himself for his grades and his performance in hockey and stuff with his friends. And I listened to him and really like none of what he was saying has ever come from my mouth or my wife's mouth or any of his teachers or coaches. It's all in here. And I reminded him of a quote that I saw on a wall one time where it basically said, don't let your worst enemy live between your own ears. And we can't. We can't allow ourselves to just form that opinion of ourselves in our own head and let that be the way we go about things in the world. It's tougher for most of us, right? Because a lot of us we've grown up in situations where we made some bad choices and those bad choices have followed us. And now people are like, bad kid, not smart, mean, evil, all kinds of things, all the things that we've heard over the years. And people tell us that we're not good enough or that we have this label on us. And it's hard to shake those labels, especially at your age when those are like your first things that you're hearing and kind of forming, an identity, your self-identity. So I want to just bring you back to it's not what's wrong with you, it's what's strong with you. And the reason I say that is because every time, it's crazy how every time some of you might be having a hard time and we sit down and we start talking things through, that you'll say all of these really cool things. Like you might be struggling at the time and going through it emotionally, which is okay, right? We're humans. We do that. It's fine. We have hard days or we have hard moments or something triggered some trauma within us, and that's being a human. But we have these talks, after we sit down and we process it, and then you identify all of these things that you've been through in your life and all that you've been through, you left that part out. You're only focusing on the bad things that have been said to you, and that's what we do also. People can compliment us 100 times a day. They can say one negative thing, and what do we remember? What do we hang on to? I'm not even going to say it, because what's already known doesn't need to be said, as old Mr. Clay would say, right? We remember that, and that's just the reality for a lot of us. So it's not what's wrong with you, it's what's strong with you. Think to all of the things right now or later on when you're thinking about what I'm saying. Hopefully, maybe some of you are. Let's be honest, you're probably not even paying attention right now. I'm just kidding. Hopefully you are. Focus on the things that you've survived. Focus on the things that you've overcome. Focus on your resilience, your strength, and the fact that you're just still here trying your best, and that's all that you can do. And then maybe look at yourself in that light for a second. Let go of all the, the things that you think are mistakes and the people told you you've done wrong and all that stuff. Let go of all that and see yourself for the things that you've overcome. What's strong with you? It's a challenge. It's a tough one. But I try myself quite often because it's too easy to get caught in that negative mindset and beat yourself up. There's enough people in this life trying to beat you up, man. You don't need to do it to yourself. So it's not what's wrong with you. It's what's strong with you. Hold on to that. Anchor yourself to that. Build an identity around that and break the cycle. Oh, I like that. Break the cycle. That might be my new thing. I'm going to end videos like that. Anyway, we're cycle breakers. Let's do it.